beachside. There's a pug walking in the public park with its owner. It's hot here in the car. Um, One thing that blows my mind about the online manifesting space, the law of assumption, law of attraction community that we see online, is the constant debates about, you know, how much action needs to be done or what to do in a certain situation, um, that just goes against almost all of your common sense. I mean, there's so many instances in, like, especially the Neville community where people online suggest you don't take action, where virtually anyone else you would meet, if you explain a situation, would say take action and would probably be correct in advising you to take action. And especially successful people who have accomplished a lot of external things successfully in their life would tell you to take action. And yet, the Neville community and a lot of these other law of attraction communities tell you to do nothing. Just assume it's done and that's it. In my opinion, that's a real misinterpretation of what Neville was saying and what a lot of these other great teachers were saying when it comes to feeling better and manifesting a better life. And this has just been on my mind recently because I've been speaking to a lot of people about SP issues, because Marvin and I have our new coaching program we're offering. I'll put a link above to a long video we did on that recently. If you're interested in having a free consultation with Marvin and I to receive real SP advice that will, in all likelihood, help transform how you view yourself and your relationships, you can contact me at info@radicalcounselor.com. But I've just been noticing that when it comes to relationship advice or advice to make more money or to improve your health, so often this crazy law of assumption manifesting community disregards the obvious. They don't suggest you do the most common sense obvious thing. They instead suggest you do this esoteric live in the end, just embrace the end state, by living in the wish fulfilled, take it only inspired action. They give you all this esoteric mumbo jumbo that just doesn't compute for most people. I'm not saying that it wasn't right for Neville to have suggested it. I'm not saying that it will not work for you just to do those things some of the time. I'm just saying the vast majority of people will not have success following the advice that they hear on YouTube in regards to taking action, especially when it comes to things like relationships. It's astounding. I've spoken to many people recently that, have had relationship issues just because they did not take appropriate action, which frankly is just another word for truly inspired action. In other words, did not tell the person how they really felt about the relationship, or fail to communicate soon thereafter what they were going through or how they felt going forward about how they wanted the person to be in terms of their relationship with them. And the failure to communicate honestly and openly has made it so that these relationships have fallen apart. And it's not to say that some of these relationships would not have fallen apart anyway, but there are a great deal, many of SP relationships or SP issues that we hear about in this SP community that would have been resolved, and people would have been able to mend and heal those relationships and make them better if they simply had taken common sense steps to communicate better what they were feeling, instead of trying to telepathically live in the end state and connect with the partner and have the partners understand what they were thinking, even though they never had it verbalized to them. And everyone's just stuck because they don't actually fucking talk to each other. This is a form of craziness. This is something my friend Maggie, aka Neville Goddess, explains all the time and talks about really well. I'll put a link above to her channel if you don't know Maggie's channel for some reason. But Maggie is really the only person I can think of in this whole YouTube space that has consistently spoken on this for a long time. No one else seemingly discusses that, like, using common sense and looking at your life issues in a common sense way first, usually, and then going to the manifesting stuff if the common sense solutions are not working, is generally speaking the way to do this stuff, right? Now, you don't have to agree with me. I'm sure many people watching this video do not agree with me. And they think Neville was right about everything, and they think that, like, you know, they take what he says very literally about living in the end and, you know, it's already done, etc. I just don't see the success in the community and the people talking about this stuff in the real world who say those things usually. You know, I made a video about this recently. I'll put a link above to that as well. People love talking theoretically and like, you just have to live in the end. I did it once and I, you know, my partner came back, or I manifested this job that I wanted just by living in the end, or whatever it may be, right? They have a great success story or two about it. But the thing is, that's a success story or two. That's not the rest of their life. And then the success story or two is one person out of 1,000 people who tried the idea, and the other 999 did not have such a, you know, dramatic success story. And come on, this is the common sense stuff you need to hear about that you don't hear about when it comes to manifesting better things in your life, having your life improve externally by internally working on your inner state, on how you feel on the inside and how you react to things. Because make no mistake, how you react to things and modifying how you react to things, that is enough to change your external reality. That's what these ideas are really, you know, implying and telling you. You can just work on how you react to things and then go about your life living it normally, just using regular common sense. And your life will dramatically improve if you're able to modify how you react to things. And again, this is the value of doing something like the 7-day mental diet of Emmett Fox, because you get to see how you react to things, and how so much of the time we have a tendency to react to things in the way we do not want, even when we quote unquote know better. It's so funny because, you know, like, people make things seem complicated, like in relationships. And obviously this goes for a lot of times for people's health and their jobs and their financial situation. But like, particularly in relationships, you know, people often make it seem so complicated when the solutions are obvious. And you're like, oh yeah, but maybe this person was feeling this way, you know, I don't really know, and, you know, I shouldn't have done that because I didn't want to step on their toes. And it's like, well, did you just ask them? Did you just ask them? And how did they respond if you did ask them? And then if they responded, how did you respond to their response? And if they didn't respond, well, at least you have an idea that, you know, they don't want to discuss it or talk to you or something like that. And you can move on. You can do the obvious thing. You can do the common sense thing. Again, this is the benefit of the golden rule. Do unto others what you want done to yourself. I'm going to treat other people the way I want to be treated because it feels good, and it makes me feel good to treat people well because I want to be treated well, and it all feels very natural and holistic and like the way things should be. I don't have a hard time treating people well with respect and kindness, and opening the door for someone when they're coming out the door with something in their hand, right? But it's not hard for me to do that. That's common sense. That's just being a decent human being. And with relationships, romantic relationships, a lot of that, especially the beginning of that, getting into a relationship is just that. It's treating people with a sense of respect and dignity. And then for romantic relationships, indicating that you like the person, that you're curious about them, that you're attracted to them. But people fudge this up. They mess it up. a lot of the time. And I'm here to tell you it's unnecessary. And I'm here to tell you that I can help you solve this. And how I'm going to help you solve it is not by all these wacky manifesting tricks. I'm going to help you integrate more common sense and good-heartedness into your life. And then, and only then, can we really, start to appreciate like what Neville or Murphy is saying when they talk about how, how you feel on the inside is reflected out into the other person, right? That stuff doesn't come first. What comes first is doing the common sense right thing, keeping a cool head, being open, being loving, and not trying to manipulate fucking anything. Just being open, being a good person. In relationships, romantic relationships, social relationships, any kind of relationships, being a good person, using common sense, practicing the golden rule will get you fucking far. I don't care about all the techniques you hear about, all the stupid SP videos that you've watched recently. And I just say that because I know what people watch who watch my channel, and it's a lot of stupid SP videos a lot of the time. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying that those advice in those videos is stupid a lot of the time. But like I wouldn't have my window shut and be sweating my butt off if I didn't believe in what I was telling you is going to help you. Don't buy the sensationalism or the tricks or the manipulation. Just do the right freaking thing. It goes a long way, particularly in personal relationships. Just do the right thing. Be a good person. You're a good person. Just do the right thing. Do what you were taught to do when you were a kid. Do the right thing. My daughter's about to turn 2, and like, it's so cute. Like, you give her something and she goes, thanks. Thanks. We learn it young. Generally speaking, most of us have good models in that way. We grow up and we try to be all crafty and think we have to, do certain things to get people to like us. The people we want in our lives, we don't have to do certain weird things to get them to like us. They're just going to like us for us being who we are and for liking them. So yeah, if you have questions or would like coaching, I can be reached at info@radicalcounselor.com. Information on my books can be found at radicalcounselor.com. Until next time, stay cool.